Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the idea that creatives should listen to their fans. All right, now stay with me here. I know this is a radical concept. Creatives should listen to their fans as opposed to insulting them and calling them man babies and piss babies and bootlickers and everything else under the sun just because they don't like a product that's trash to begin with. Are you feeling me? Are you feeling the flow here? All right, so let's check this out. We're going to get into this article right after we have the what? Who's going to roll the footage?
Now you monkeys will pay the price for not rolling the footage.
Star Wars creatives must listen to fans. This comes from the Mandalorian creator himself. Hello, welcome back. I'm Tepokuyan of the Place to Be Reviews. I am right here with all of yous, and today we're going over this article from ScreenRant.com. Came out 4 hours ago by Anna Dumarog. What a novel idea. Like I said in the introduction, that the creatives be receptive to the fans. Now, the responsibility and the beast of burden here does fall on the fans, because if you want these creatives to listen to you, you must be constructive and not destructive about your criticism. I know we as commentators sometimes have a tendency to go on attack mode, but that's only because we've been accustomed to being attacked by the creatives. Because we said, well, we don't like simply stating I don't like this, and then the creatives come back with, well, you're just a piss baby, and it's like, what? I just said I didn't like it. Think it really fit the narrative of the whole franchise that's been around for 40 years, but you do you, broom boy. So let's jump into this article here. I, of course, will give you my thoughts. You can leave yours in the comments below. Please do. I don't know why I'm going with that accent. I have no idea.
I'm retarded.
The Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau emphasizes how important feedback from the fans is, and Star Wars creatives should be more open to it. This falls on you, Kathleen Kennedy, because you're the one that allows these quote-unquote creatives who like to just go on the attack on Twitter, and then you're just, of course, got their back because they say they share the same political ideologies as you. The Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau emphasizes how important fan feedback is. This first Star Wars live-action TV series debuted last year alongside Disney Plus, introducing fans to Pedro Pascal's lone gunslinger, Din Djarin, who becomes the unexpected caretaker of a Force-sensitive infant from the same species as Jedi Master Yoda. The first season was well received with both fans and critics loving its first 8 episodes. Yes, the critics and fans loved the first 8 episodes. Some of the fans had issues with episode 4, chapter 4, as it were, one where Gina Carano debuted as Cara Dune. Yes, there was the dog whistle sent out, because we all say we're all right with strong female characters until a legit strong female character shows up. See, and then that kind of weeds out who the actual misogynists are, because me sitting back going, Cara Dune was freaking amazing. And it's like, I don't like seeing Rey play this, oh, I'm so badass because she's like 10 pounds. But then you put a woman like Gina Carano in, who is a trained and professional fighter. All right. She looks the part. Her acting ability is on par with the roles that she's played. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not knocking her. I'm just saying that the range, she can develop it possibly, but that takes time. So I thought she was great in this role. She played a badass. She didn't really have to, deliver too many lines that were, outside of her wheelhouse, I would say. So this is stuff that the fans have said they want from the creatives. The creatives answered us back and said, here you go. And then people were like, well, the widow was too good of a shot. She was a good shot with a rifle. She's based on Annie Oakley. Okay, guys? The dog whistle. You gotta stop. You got to stop, because you're outing yourselves, all right? Because the Fandom Menace is great, but there's some people that like to use that Fandom Menace name to hide their own vitriol behind, this is about criticizing art, and this is about criticizing the product. This is not about criticizing individuals for their race or gender. Okay, guys? So let me be perfectly clear, because there are some in this group that like to do that under this banner, and that's unfair to the rest of us who simply are criticizing the value of the entertainment we've been presented with, which these creatives, especially led by Mr. Jon Favreau, have now been good enough to kind of answer that call from us, and they gave us The Mandalorian, which it was great. So let's move on with the article after I'm done with my rant there. I think you guys kind of like those rants a little bit, so there's one right there for you. Set 5 years after the events of Star Wars, The Return of the Jedi, The Mandalorian follows Din on his adventures with Baby Yoda as he attempts to keep the infant away from the Imperial remnants who want it, like Moff Gideon, played expertly by Giancarlo Esposito. By the end of the first season, the pair officially becomes the House of Two, with Mando now tasked to reunite the child with his people. Given the divisive nature of the recent Star Wars movies, it's refreshing to see a generally unified response from the fandom and the critics. In light of this, Favreau reiterates how important it is that creatives listen to fan feedback. Now, this is a big bone of contention with Kathleen Kennedy, because Kathleen Kennedy believes that she has the formula for what the fans want, which is sheer lunacy considering how badly the movies under her have been received out critically now, outside of Rogue One, which has its issues. And a lot of what was good about Rogue One was due to reshoots, but we still have the disaster that is The Last Jedi. We have Solo, The Rise of Skywalker, Force Awakens. I mean, it made a ton of money, but like I said, after you haven't had a Star Wars movie in 10 years, people were hungry for it. So they threw their money down, and then were like, oh wait, this is a wannabe New Hope with a gender swap lead. Okay. Speaking with The Hollywood Reporter about the process of creating The Mandalorian, the Iron Man and the Jungle Book filmmaker emphasizes how creatives need to listen to what viewers are saying about their projects. Favreau explains that it's not a one-way street. Studio people should be attuned to what the people want and don't want. See, this is the man that knows the balance between giving the fans what they want, giving a little bit of what they want, and still getting what you want across in it, and making a nice blend of it that's presentable to the fans that can unify us instead of being divisive intentionally. So Favreau's words, you put something out in the world and then it echoes back at you. You have to listen. It's not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. You have to feel the energy of the audience. But when you come from comedy, when I was doing improv back in Chicago, that's it. You have to read the room. You have to feel the room. You have to be in community with the audience. You have to be part of it. That is exactly the right way that the creatives need to look at the crowd, the paying customers nonetheless. That doesn't mean that projects should be solely dictated by fan pressure. Otherwise, most movies and TV shows would feel like fan-made content, which isn't good as well, and I have no qualms about agreeing with that statement. What Favreau means is that creatives should know their target market, and with the rise of social media, it's not difficult to crack this down since everyone is expressing their thoughts on their chosen platforms. From there, they should take it into consideration when crafting their stories, but not purely based on the decisions for them. For instance, Favreau knew that there's interest in Boba Fett, as well as the Mandalorians, considering how integral they've been in animated shows such as Star Wars The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. But instead of doing a straight-up adaptation, they changed things up with the introduction of a new character in addition to Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian. And we ate it up, man. We loved it. So this is what can be done. And this is what's so frustrating about when you get these projects from Disney, Star Wars that are just terrible, because it's like, we've seen what you can do. So how could you still put out The Rise of Skywalker as a conclusion to the, quote, Skywalker saga? It's curious what Favreau and his team's takeaway from the first season of The Mandalorian and how those pointers will affect the show's second season. For what it's worth, there's already a string of familiar faces making an appearance, such as Boba Fett, Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan, Kryze. Admittedly, not everyone might be on board with this since it could distract from the show's main players, but one would not be hard-pressed to find people who are not excited to see these characters back in Star Wars. Fans would just have to see how they're able to utilize them properly. Okay, so Katie Sackhoff, dude, yes, yay, that makes me happy. I'm in love with that woman. She's awesome, gorgeous, badass, and she's just cool. I mean, I really like her in the action roles. Not sure about this. I don't know the character. Must be from Rebels or something. I'm not familiar with it. Ahsoka Tano, Rosario Dawson. Gonna apologize right now because I'm one of the people, and I'm not saying it because it's like anti-narrative or whatever. I'm not an Ahsoka Tano fan. I don't really care for the character at all. In the Clone Wars show, I just looked at her like extra baggage. And I never watched Rebels, and I never will. I've seen enough of the clips of it on YouTube just to fill in what people are talking about, but like I said, seeing her through the Clone Wars, I don't like the character. Don't care. All right, so it's your turn. What do you guys think? Are you in favor of this style? Of course you are, right? You've got to be in favor somewhat of this style that The Mandalorian took because it worked. It gave us what we wanted. So we responded in kind with, praise. And people think that, oh, well, you're shilling for Disney now because you like this. And it's like, no. We've complained because we've had bad Star Wars. When they give us some good Star Wars, we have to lay praise on them. And I'm not talking like overly sycophantic. I'm talking about, hey, thank you. That's what we wanted. Awesome. Can we please have more of this and less the identity politics? The problem is Kathleen Kennedy's still there. So that's our issue. And the Leslie Headland thing, we've been over that. And until there's more developments, I don't really feel any need to go in further detail on this. I will give props to Jon Favreau. That is a great point of view and perspective from a creative. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue the discussion there. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. But I'm about to go through all that right now. Later. Here's where you can find us all across social media at TB2BR on Instagram, the Place to Be Reviews page on Facebook, the official Place to Be Reviews fan page, that's our private group, at the Place to Be RE1, at N80 Pete on Twitter, past podcast available on Anchor, iTunes, and Spotify, and now the Place to Be Reviews on Discord. You can also email us if you're old-fashioned, okay boomer, at the Place to Be Reviews at mail.com, the world's best mail. Thank you very much. Also, on the way out, don't forget to bitch slap that like button. Do me that big solid, would ya? Yeah, I think you can do that. Also, hail the Fandom Menace. Hail to thee, my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Help us grow the channel. Hail the Fandom Collective, a group which we are proud members of now. We'll be working with them on a lot of collaborations in the near future. And I'd like to personally thank you all for joining the Place to Be Reviews. That's right, I'm Etepakuian of the Place to Be Reviews right here with all yous. Remember, if I don't see you, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow.